Namaskar viewers, hello and welcome to Sansad TV. I am Teena Jha. You're watching Question Hour, the show where we track some key questions raised by members of parliament to different ministries on government schemes and policies. So as you may be aware, for one dedicated hour, members of parliament from both houses get the chance to raise issues that affect everyday lives, from schemes and policies to public services and welfare. In fact, it is one of the most direct ways that the government is held accountable to the people. Talking about Question Hour in the Rajya Sabha first, on Monday, 9th of February, a total of 15 questions were listed for oral answers in the upper house. Here are a few questions that were taken up during the Question Hour in Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha member Dr. K. Lakshman asked the Ministry of Coal about the details of reported increase in capital expenditure by Coal India Limited, SCCL and NLC India Limited during the first quarter of FY 2025-26. He sought to know sector-wise allocation of this expenditure, including investments in renewable energy, coal gasification and employee welfare, along with specific projects, employment generation and infrastructure benefits accruing to the state of Telangana, particularly through SCCL, and the manner in which these investments support energy security and the clean energy transition.
So the capital expenditure incurred by the public sector coal units.
No, I will not allow you. I'm not allowing you.
Year on year, they
no.
have always succeeded in exceeding their targets. And last year, sir, it was 140% more than the target.
Nothing should go on record. Nothing should go on record except the minister's answer.
Sir, the issue today is that apart from the 31,000 crores of capital expenditure that has been incurred in fiscal year 24-25, we should see that it has gone up from 2020-21 when it was 17,500 crores. It has gone to 31,500 crores in these 2 years. Sir, in addition, the country has witnessed record production of coal. It has crossed 1 billion tons of coal production for the last time, and it has gone up from something like 500 million tons to over 1,000 million tons, sir. This has resulted in reduction of imports. Sir, apart from the capital expenditure incurred by the PSUs in the coal sector, I would also like to add that the budget which was presented by the Honorable Finance Minister indicated a massive increase in capital expenditure for the country overall. Sir, in 2014, the country's budget provided for something like 2 lakh crores by way of capital expenditure. Last year, sir, it had gone up to 11 lakh crores. And some people like me used to wonder, will we be able to absorb and spend 11 lakh crores? So this year, the capital expenditure has gone up to 12 lakh crores. Add to that, sir, what is made available to the states through the Finance Commission, and you will see that's another 4 lakh 50,000 crores. It's something like 17 lakh crores. Then you add the sectoral capex by the PSUs. You have 30,000, 31,000 crores by the coal PSUs. Sir, in my own sector, the oil sector, the OMCs, our PSUs are called oil marketing companies.
You should
they are
maintain
also
the
incurring 1 lakh,
the house, then I am
1 crore
allowing
20 lakhs,
You don't have that
1 lakh
discipline.
20 crore by way of capital. So it's a massive amount of capital expenditure which is being incurred in the country. Sir, this sustained overachievement from targets, despite coal sector being marred with various bottlenecks, makes the coal sector PSUs amongst the top performing PSUs in the country. Sir, insofar as the state of Telangana is concerned, as my honorable members are, one of the companies there, which is a PSU, is incurring at an annual 1,600 crores a year by way of
You please go back to your seats.
capital expenditure. This results in both direct and indirect employment. In fact, some various sums have been done.
Nope.
Sir, whenever capital expenditure is incurred, no matter in which sector, infrastructure is built, modernization takes place, jobs are created directly and indirectly. In the case of the facility in Telangana, sir, I think if I remember correctly, they are employing 42,000 people directly and another 16,000 or so by way of contract workers. So it is direct and indirect employment. Sir, in capital expenditure, you used cement, steel, so the production goes up, employment there goes up. All in all, I can say, sir, that overall in the country, you can see, apart from the central government's allocation of capital expenditure, which has gone up to 12.2 lakh crores, what is going to the states through the Finance Commission, another 4.5 lakh crores. What is being done by the companies in the coal sector, sir, 31,000 crores. And I would also like to add, sir, 18% of the coal production in the country is in the private sector. They are also incurring capex. So it's a situation in which the capital expenditure is contributing to the overall economic activity in the state, in the country also overall.
Member Rajinder Gupta asked the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas about the current storage capacity of India's strategic petroleum reserves and the percentage of capacity presently filled. He sought to know the average procurement cost of crude oil stored therein, whether any drawdown simulations or stress tests have been conducted during the last 3 years, if so, the details thereof, the criteria prescribed for deployment of reserves during price volatility or supply disruptions, and whether any expansion plan has been formulated, and if so, the estimated fiscal implications thereof.
The strategic petroleum reserve is designed to ensure that in case of total global turbulence, in case supplies cannot reach either from the western coast or the eastern coast, we must have enough stock left in order to meet that. Now, fortunately for India, sir, we are also a domestic producer. When I say we are the 5th largest exporter, God forbid, if there was to be an eventuality where no supplies are reaching, we would obviously not then export. We would also utilize our domestic consumption for domestic production for domestic consumption. Sir, the International Energy Agency stipulates that there should be about 90 days of holding as a strategic petroleum reserve. But I also want to point out, sir, these are estimates largely relevant. I'm choosing my words carefully. I'm not saying they are not relevant for others. 90 days largely relevant for OECD countries, also smaller OECD countries. Today, sir, we calculate our reserves not only what is in the caverns, and these are in 3 places. I can't go into precise details, although some people speculate. They are in the states of Andhra Pradesh, in the state of Karnataka, and a third one we are hoping to get started, sir, in Odisha soon. Together, if you look at the reserves in the caverns and what is held by us in our refineries and what is on floating platforms at our ports, together and our products, it comes to 74 days. Ideally, it should be 90, but I feel at least as the line minister safe with something like 74 days, and going forward, we can even consider raising it. So that period between 2015 and 22 is the pre-COVID period. And it also covers the COVID period and till 2022, when COVID was mercifully on its way out. Sir, we filled the current stock at that time, at 2015 to 22, at prices which I may say, because normally we don't discuss the price at which we buy oil, at roughly 50% of the prevailing price today, which is, sir, very creditable. So there is always a balance involved. I'm very happy to inform this House through you, sir, that we have been able to weather the international turbulence thanks to the far-sighted and visionary policies of the Honorable Prime Minister. We have been able to ensure availability, affordability, and sustainability, the trilemma of energy. And today, whether it is a question of biofuels, a reference was made in the question also to liquefied petroleum gas, our production is going up. We are also signing international arrangements. When the president of the UAE, he was here recently, sir, we signed another deal with them. We are importing about, I think, what, $9 billion worth of natural gas from them. We are also importing from Qatar, from so other countries. Also, sir, we have a situation on petroleum gas, liquefied petroleum gas, which is a cylinder gas, which is a product of a refinery. We also signed an agreement with the United States, sir, for buying 10% of our requirements from there. So overall, sir, the strategic petroleum reserve is a very important component in our economic security. And economic security means that a democratically elected government and the Prime Minister feels particularly responsible to the common man, the Aam Aadmi, that the prices should be at lowest level, and they are lower today than in most parts of the world.
Member Teena Jha asked a question on houses to urban homeless and slum dwellers to the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. He sought to know the details of schemes being run by the central government for provision of home to urban homeless, the details of fund allocated, released and utilized for providing homes to the urban homeless and slum dwellers during the last 3 financial years. Also details of number of homes provided and slums developed during the last 3 years.
हमारे आदरणीय सदस्य महोदय ने बताया है कि इस समय तक कुल 94 लाख लोगों को और मकान उपलब्ध हो चुके हैं। पहले जो योजना तय की गई थी उसके कंपोनेंट्स में 4 कंपोनेंट्स जो है वो तय किए गए थे, जिसके अंदर बेनिफिशियरी लेड स्कीम अर्थात जिनके पास अपना प्लॉट है वो गरीब आदमी भी उस प्लॉट के लिए और आर्थिक सहायता लेकर के और उस पर अपने मकान बना सकते थे। इसी प्रकार दूसरा था कि अफोर्डेबल हाउसिंग इन पार्टनरशिप, जिनके पास अपना ज़मीन नहीं होती थी उनके लिए ऐसे वर्ग को और एक अफोर्डेबल हाउसिंग स्कीम के अंतर्गत सस्ते दामों पर और वो मकान उपलब्ध कराए जाते थे। इसमें केंद्र की ओर से 1.5 लाख रुपया और ये दिया जाता था, लेकिन संयोग ऐसा कि उसके अंदर प्रदेशों का कोई अंशदान ये नहीं तय किया गया था। प्रदेश अपनी ओर से जो उसमें योगदान घोषित करना चाहते थे वो करते थे। कुछ प्रदेशों ने किया जहाँ अच्छी संख्या में वो लोग मकान ले करके और पब्लिक को दे सके, जिन्होंने नहीं किया वहाँ ये कमी रह गई थी। इसी प्रकार तीसरा जो था उसमें इंटरेस्ट सब्सिडी स्कीम, ये MIG और LIG लोगों के लिए जो अपना पैसा खर्च करके मकान बनाते थे, बैंक से लोन लेते थे, उनको इंटरेस्ट की सब्सिडी ये दी जाती थी ताकि उनको भी एक लाभ मिल सके। और अंतिम कैटेगरी थी जो इन सीटू स्लम डेवलपमेंट ISSR, अर्थात जो लोग झुग्गी झोपड़ी में बैठे थे उनके लिए इन सीटू मकान दिए जाए। संयोग ऐसा हुआ कि इन सीटू मकानों का निर्माण ये करने के लिए योजना बनी, लेकिन बहुत कम लोग ये आगे आ पाए क्योंकि झुग्गी झोपड़ी लोगों के पास उतना पैसा होता नहीं था और इसमें सरकारी सहायता भी 1 लाख रुपया थी। तो बहुत प्रदेशों ने इसमें अपनी रुचि कम दिखाई, तो इसलिए PMAY 2 में इसको बदल दिया गया और बदल करके इसमें अफोर्डेबल रेंटिंग हाउसिंग इसका प्रावधान किया ताकि लोग अपना मकान अगर नहीं भी ले सकते तो एक जितना कम से कम किराए में वो लोग रह सकते हैं, उनको किराए के मकान ये उपलब्ध हो जाए। तो इस प्रकार से इस योजना में एक परिवर्तन करके और ये 2 में लाया गया। अब कठिनाई ये आई कि आखिर ये औद्योगिक क्षेत्रों में रहने वाली जो प्रवासी आबादी के जो लोग थे इनको कौन सी योजना का लाभ इसमें मिले। तो अफोर्डेबल रेंटल हाउसिंग स्कीम के अंतर्गत और ये लोग अपना लाभ उसमें उठा रहे हैं, क्योंकि बहुत से प्रवासी लोग स्थायी रूप से निवासी एक स्थान पर नहीं होते तो उनको भी संकोच होता है कि हम अपना मकान वहाँ न बनाएं, जब आवश्यकता हो तो यानी किराए पर हमको उपलब्ध हो जाए, तो ऐसे सस्ते किराए पर और ये मकान इनको मिले। तो इसलिए PMAY 2Y में इसका प्रावधान जो किया गया कि वर्कर को अलग से एक अफोर्डेबल रेंटल हाउसिंग स्कीम इसका वर्टिकल ये बनाया गया है और मैं समझता हूँ इसका पर्याप्त लाभ उनको मिला है। और आवास का जो स्वामित्व नहीं चाहते थे अल्पकालीन अवधि के लिए उनको किराए के आवास की ये योजना इसका लाभ मिलता है।
Member Sushmita Dev asked the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs about the Smart City Mission in Guwahati. She sought to know the total funds allocated, released and utilized in Guwahati under the Smart City Mission during the last 3 years, component-wise breakup of funds including expenditure on roads, drainage, water supply, solid waste management, housing, ICT and other sectors. She also sought to know about the total funds allocated and utilized specifically for drainage under the Smart City Mission, along with the number of drainage and flood mitigation projects sanctioned and completed or ongoing in Guwahati, along with their present status.
सभापति महोदय, ये जो आंकड़ा बताया जा रहा है इसमें मालूम नहीं कहाँ से आंकड़ा लिया है। गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया की फंडिंग 48,000 करोड़ ये इसके अंदर फंड जो है सैंक्शन किए गए, जिसमें 47,458 करोड़ रुपए के जो सिटीज़ के जो खर्चे हुए हैं वो स्टेट्स ने क्लेम कर लिए हैं और इसमें यूटिलाइजेशन का जो जिनके यूटिलाइजेशन सर्टिफिकेट आ गए हैं 46,231 करोड़ रुपया ये भुगतान किया जा चुका है 15/1/26 तक। इसलिए इस आंकड़े को थोड़ा ठीक कर लें। जहाँ तक किसी भी प्रोजेक्ट का विषय है, ये प्रोजेक्ट जैसा मैंने बताया कि पहला तो स्मार्ट सिटी मिशन, इसके प्रोजेक्ट्स एक डेमोन्स्ट्रेटिव होते हैं, एक छोटे पार्ट में इनका काम किया जाता है क्योंकि टोटल बजट 50% केंद्र का 500 करोड़ रुपया, 50% प्रदेश का यानी 500 करोड़ रुपया और पहाड़ी राज्यों को 50% 500 करोड़ के साथ 50 करोड़ रुपया 10%, ऐसे 550 करोड़ रुपया। इसमें पूरे शहर की योजनाएं तो सब नहीं बना सकते, फिर भी इसमें यानी हंड्रेड्स ऑफ स्कीम्स वर देयर जिनको वहाँ की स्टेट ने चयन करना था कि कौन से इसमें स्कीम में हम लगाना चाहते हैं। वाटर के ऊपर लगाना चाहते हैं वहाँ लगाएं, टेक्नोलॉजी के विषय पर लगाना वहाँ लगाएं। और इसमें भी 3 प्रकार का उसमें मॉडल दिए गए थे। एक है सिटी इंप्रूवमेंट में रेट्रोफिटिंग मॉडल, जो 500 एकड़ की सिटी में यानी एक लार्ज बेस एरिया उसके अंदर लागू किया जा सकता है। दूसरा है रीडेवलपमेंट मॉडल, जिसमें सिटी का रिन्यूएबल है, उसमें 50 एकड़ का एरिया उसे में किया जा सकता है। और तीसरा ग्रीन फील्ड डेवलपमेंट मॉडल, जिसके अंदर 250 एकड़ ज़मीन पर और ये उस एरिया के अंदर इस प्रकार के काम किए जा सकते हैं। इट्स अप टू द स्टेट कि उनकी जो अपनी कमेटीज बनी हैं, उन कमेटीज़ के आधार के ऊपर उनको कौन सा फुल सिटी का कराना है या कोई पार्ट ऑफ द सिटी कराना है, क्योंकि बजट जो है वो सीमित है और उसके अंदर जितने भी प्रोजेक्ट बनाए जाएंगे वो रेप्लिकेबल हैं अन्य सिटीज़ में या उसी सिटी के अंदर और प्रकार के वैसे प्रोजेक्ट अगर करने हैं तो वो सब कर सकते हैं। इसलिए इनके जो कंपोनेंट्स हैं बहुत बड़े कंपोनेंट में, लेकिन बजट सीमित होने के कारण से ये स्टेट का अपना चयन करने का अधिकार है कि वो किस प्रोजेक्ट में करते हैं किस में नहीं करते हैं। फिर भी गुवाहाटी के अंदर क्या क्या काम हुए हैं ये सब उत्तर में बताए जा चुके हैं। सभापति महोदय, विषय केवल स्मार्ट सिटी मिशन का है और ये स्मार्ट सिटी मिशन नंबर ऑफ सिटीज़ कौन कौन सी सिटी होंगे ये बिल्कुल तय कर दिया गया था। 100 सिटीज़ का चयन किया गया था। ये काम केवल इन 100 सिटीज़ में था और ये दिसंबर 2025 तक इसके सब प्रोजेक्ट्स केंद्र सरकार की ओर से जो बजट फंड जाने थे चले गए थे। ये स्कीम अब बंद हो चुकी है और इस नाते से आगे इस स्कीम के खुले ना होने के कारण से नई सिटी का तो इसमें कोई शामिल होने का कोई विषय है नहीं। अन्य शहरों में जिस प्रकार के काम हैं, बहुत सी हमारी योजनाएं हैं, उसमें अमृत स्कीम भी है, उसमें पीएम हाउसिंग PMAY भी है, ऐसे ही स्वच्छ भारत मिशन है या NULM है, बहुत सी स्कीमें हैं। और अब अर्बन चैलेंज फंड के नाम से 1 लाख करोड़ रुपए का सैंक्शन ये भारत सरकार ने अपने पिछले वर्ष के बजट में घोषित किया था, उनके फंड्स भी जाएंगे। तो अन्य शहरों में जिस इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का इस बार के बजट में 11 लाख करोड़ रुपया इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का किया है, ऐसे ही सिटी इकोनॉमिक रीजन में हर यानी रीजन को 5,000 करोड़ रुपए इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का घोषित किया गया है। तो जिन शहरों में काम कराना अगली योजनाओं में कर सकते हैं, लेकिन स्मार्ट सिटी मिशन जितने काम होने थे सब हो गए हैं, उसमें कहीं किसी प्रकार का और आगे कोई योजना नहीं है।
In the Lok Sabha, the question hour could not be taken up amid protests by the opposition parties, forcing an adjournment of the House. Here are a few questions from the list of unstarred questions. Member PC Mohan raised a question to the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, seeking to know about the measures to reduce plastic consumption and promote alternatives. He sought to know about the progress made in phasing out single-use plastics since the nationwide ban came into effect in July 2022. He asked the government about the steps taken to monitor and enforce compliance among manufacturers and retailers, measures adopted to reduce overall plastic consumption, including awareness drives, waste segregation initiatives, and extended producer responsibility mechanisms, viable alternatives such as biodegradable, paper-based or compostable materials being promoted for packaging and daily use products, also incentives and support programs introduced for industries, startups, and urban local bodies to adopt eco-friendly materials and plastic recycling technologies, particularly in Karnataka and Bengaluru. Replying to the question, Minister of State in the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Kirti Vardhan Singh informed that the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change notified Plastic Waste Management Amendment Rules 2021 on 12th of August 2021, prohibiting identified single-use plastic items which have low utility and high littering potential with effect from 1st of July 2022. Regular enforcement drives were undertaken to enforce ban on identified single-use plastic items by the CPCB, SPCB, PCC, along with local authorities across the country. As per details provided and details available at the SUP Compliance Monitoring Portal, a total of 8,62,356 inspections have been conducted and 1,990 tons of banned single-use plastic items have been seized, and a total of 19.85 crore rupees of fine has been levied from July 2022 till January 2026. All 36 states and union territories have constituted the Special Task Force under the chairmanship of Chief Secretary, Administrator for Elimination of Identified Single-Use Plastic Items and Effective Plastic Waste Management. A national-level task force has also been constituted by the Ministry for taking coordinated efforts to eliminate identified single-use plastic items and effective implementation of Plastic Waste Management Rules 2016. For effective monitoring of ban on identified single-use plastic items and plastic waste management in the country, online platforms such as National Dashboard for Monitoring of Comprehensive Action Plan Implementation, CPCB Monitoring Module for Compliance on Elimination of Single-Use Plastic, and CPCB Grievance Redressal App are in operation. States and the Union Territories have been asked to undertake regular enforcement drives to implement ban on identified single-use plastic items and on plastic carry bags having thickness less than 120 microns. Actions have been taken by concerned authorities on the deviations, which include seizure of banned single-use plastic items and levy of penalty. The Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change has also notified the guidelines on the extended producer responsibility for plastic packaging via Plastic Waste Management Amendment Rules 2022 on 16th of February 2022. The Government of Karnataka has introduced and implemented several incentives and support programs to encourage industries, startups and local bodies to adopt eco-friendly materials and plastic recycling technologies. Under the Karnataka Startup Policy and Allied Innovation Programs, startups working on sustainable materials, plastic alternatives, recycling technologies and circular economy solutions are provided incentives such as reimbursement of patent filing costs, market access support, incubation facilities, also financial assistance through state-supported innovation funds. The Government of Karnataka has given preference to micro, small and medium enterprises in procurement of goods and engineering procurement and construction tenders for setting up recycling infrastructure. Member Lalji Verma asked a question to the Ministry of Education on the National Council for Teacher Education Guidelines. He sought to know whether it is a fact that many teachers appointed before 2011, as per the guidelines of NCTE, are still facing uncertainty and administrative hurdles related to teacher eligibility test in the country, if so, the details thereof. He asked whether the government is aware of the fact that teachers appointed before 2011 were appointed under the rules and procedures applicable at the time when TET was not mandatory in the country, and if so, the details thereof. Also, whether the government proposes to issue a clear, uniform national policy to completely exempt all teachers duly appointed before 2011 from TET, so as to ensure that no justice is done to them, if so, the details thereof. Replying to the question, Minister of State in the Ministry of Education, Jayant Chaudhary, informed that in accordance with the provisions of subsection 1 of section 23 of the RTE Act 2009, the National Council for Teacher Education laid down the minimum qualifications for a person to be eligible for appointment as a teacher for classes 1 to 8. The Honorable Supreme Court of India, via its judgment dated 1st of September 2025, held that TET is one of the minimum qualifications prescribed under Section 23 of the Act and is mandatory for appointment as a teacher in schools covered under the Act. In respect of in-service teachers recruited prior to the enactment of the RTE Act, the court had said teachers having more than 5 years of service remaining may qualify TET within a period of 2 years from the date of the judgment in order to continue in service. Teachers having less than 5 years of service remaining as on the date of judgment have been permitted to continue in service till attaining the age of superannuation without qualifying the TET. However, such teachers are not eligible for promotion unless they qualify the TET. The Supreme Court has further directed that qualification of the TET is mandatory for all persons aspiring for appointment as teachers, as well as for in-service teachers seeking appointment by way of promotion in accordance with the statutory framework under the RTE Act. BJP MP Rajiv Pratap Rudy asked the Minister of Tourism about details of the key initiatives of the government, including budgetary provisions and targeted programs to strengthen India's position as a global medical tourism destination. He sought to know details of the steps taken or being taken to address the challenges in accessibility, affordability, and post-operative care for foreign medical tourists visiting India. He also sought to know whether the government has performed any impact assessment of medical tourism during the last 5 years and the current year, and if so, the findings thereof. Replying to the question, Minister of Tourism Gajendra Singh Shekhawat informed that development and promotion of tourist destinations and products, including medical tourism, is undertaken by respective state governments and union territory administration. The Ministry of Tourism promotes India in a holistic manner through various initiatives. As part of ongoing activities, promotion of medical and wellness tourism is also taken up. The Ministry of Tourism has not conducted any assessment regarding the specific treatments popular in India or impact assessment of medical tourism during the last 5 years and the current year. He also informed that in order to provide impetus to the growth of medical and wellness tourism in India, the Ministry of Tourism formulated a national strategy and roadmap for medical and wellness tourism and circulated to the concerned central ministries, state governments and industry stakeholders. The Services Export Promotion Council under the Ministry of Commerce has developed a comprehensive website www.indiahealthcaretourism.com, which provides information on accredited hospitals and wellness centers, visa healthcare providers, etc. The Ministry of Tourism has provided a link to this portal on its official websites. Also, to facilitate the visit of foreign nationals to come to India for medical treatment, the Government of India has extended e-medical visa and e-medical attendant visa facilities. And that brings us to an end of this program. Thank you, viewers, for your time.